What's up, YouTube? It's your boy, Professor Mims, aka Professor Make It Make Sense. And today I'm bringing you a story about late night host Jimmy Kimmel, who just recently had his show indefinitely suspended. But before we continue, don't forget to like and subscribe, hit that notification bell, as you guys always help me so much and I can keep bringing you this amazing content. So without further ado, let's find out what exactly happened with Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy Kimmel is facing heavy fallout after he made some controversial comments about conservative activist Charlie Kirk, who was recently assassinated. And in his monologue, Kimmel accused, quote, the MAGA gang, end quote, of trying to politically capitalize on the tragedy, a remark that stirred outrage. It led to ABC pulling the plug, Jimmy Kimmel Live, off the air indefinitely, and it triggered pressure from major network affiliates and the FCC. In this video, we're going to break down what exactly Jimmy Kimmel said, why people found it controversial, the timeline of how ABC, Nexstar, Sinclair, and the FCC responded, arguments about free speech versus accountability, where do we draw the line, public and political reactions from fellow late-night hosts to conservative media and regulatory bodies. So the big question at the end of this video will be if you think Jimmy Kimmel's suspension is justified, or is this just going to be an alarming attack on freedom of speech? So now, we're going to play a clip of exactly what he said on live TV that has caused this uproar, and then we'll go ahead and dissect exactly what followed this event. So let's go ahead and play that clip.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it. You can see how hard the president is taking this.
My condolences on the loss of your friend Charlie Kirk. May I ask, sir, personally, how are you holding up over the last day and a half, sir?
I think very good. And by the way, right there, you see all the trucks? They've just started construction of the new ballroom for the White House.
Yes. He's at the fourth stage of grief, construction.
So now, this public image of Jimmy Kimmel, the late night TV host, has been known for mixing comedy with political commentary. So over the years, Jimmy Kimmel has made jokes that align with progressive viewpoints, and he's often criticizing conservative politics. Now, because of that, his audience tends to expect his political satire and commentary, but as with many public figures in that space, he also faces intense scrutiny and consequences for his remarks, especially when they touch on sensitive issues such as Charlie Kirk's assassination. And the internet's insensitive or strong reactions has many on the political right calling Jimmy Kimmel's remarks, quote, offensive and misleading, end quote, especially because they felt he implied an entire political group, aka MAGA, was complicit or seeking gain from the tragic killing. Now, some media affiliates as Nexstar and Sinclair, they've demanded that Jimmy Kimmel issue an apology, and they even asked him to donate for reparations to the Kirk family or to Turning Point USA. Now, others have defended Jimmy Kimmel, citing free speech. Late night hosts and entertainers, they voiced concerns about what this suspension means for open discourse and political satire. The regulatory bodies, including the FCC chair, they threw their own weight into the controversy, and they're warning about potential consequences for ABC if they do not act on this. Boy, so I have to take my glasses off on this one because, you know, we're living in a society today where anything you say is such a sensitive topic for someone or some party. And what really upsets me the most is that now we have to blur the lines between comedy and people's feelings. So it's getting to the point now where you can't say anything without someone getting offended. And in Jimmy Kimmel's case, as I mentioned earlier, he's known for political satire. And we all know that satire is a form of comedy. It's mockery. It's the way that we can take serious issues and make light of it so that we don't have to be on serious mode all the time. And again, I'm not trying to be desensitive or insensitive to what happened to Charlie Kirk. But having said that, I didn't find anything that Jimmy Kimmel said wrong. It's not like he was mocking the fact that Charlie Kirk was unalived. What he was essentially making fun of, if you really pay attention to the clip and you were listening, was he was making fun of the fact that Trump was asked about it, and Trump pivoted towards talking about a truck or something going on with construction in the environment that Trump was in. So that's where really the comedy part of this came from. But for some reason, specifically the MAGA party decided that, oh, since you were making fun of Trump and you brought up Charlie Kirk's unaliving, that you're making fun of the situation and you're wrong and we're going to have to take you off the air. And I just totally disagree with this. And it gets to the point now where, how do we define freedom of speech now? Because you really can't say anything anymore without cancel culture jumping in and telling you, no, you can't say that, so therefore we're going to take away your platform. I just don't like the way the direction of our world is going. Some of the most basic rights are being stripped from us every day. So now it adds another layer of a question. Should we edit the Constitution now to say, oh, you have freedom of speech as long as you don't say X, Y, and Z? Because honestly, that's where it's leading to. So I have a lot of issues with this. And what's really interesting to me is, if Jimmy Kimmel is being punished for this, imagine a show such as Saturday Night Live, who's known for constantly making fun of political parties and touching on a variety of different political topics and making light of it and mocking it. Are you going to cancel SNL? Do you have to send them a warning saying, hey, you guys can make fun of whatever you want as long as you don't say X, Y, Z? I hope everybody understands where I'm coming from. But at this point, I'm not going to beat a dead horse. I really want to hear what you guys have to say on the matter. Was the FCC and all parties involved, were they right for going ahead and suspending Jimmy Kimmel indefinitely? Or do you think this was a huge overreaction and kind of a wave of them trying to protect themselves and their personal image? Because as we know, they always say there's truth in the joke. There's the truth and then there's the joke. And when you combine them together, depending on who's listening to it, you can take away the layer of it which you want to take serious or don't want to take serious. But as always, I appreciate you guys. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and stay blessed.